It eliminates the ability for the districts to request more NTI days with the cases of 200 per 100,000 residents. This still gives them the 5 NTI days that were within the bill, but should they have to miss any school, they will have to make those up old school, if you will, and complete their hours of instruction. Many schools have been back for the entire time and they have not had any problems, so I don't foresee a problem, but should there one arise, they would have to make those days up. And I want to be clear about this bill. There's been some noise with individuals that have just totally misrepresented the bill. I've had the bill reviewed by LRC, and this bill fully expects students to return to the classroom full-time across the board next year. It simply allows for the 40-80, 40-20 hybrid, 40-80 hybrid for students and for a particular district that I had in mind when the union had voted not to return. Now, let me be clear. There was 42% of the students of that particular district that wanted to return. And I've heard from lots of teachers in that district that wanted to return. And they should have had the opportunity to return. This allows them to return. It allows those students to have face-to-face contact with teachers for the first time since March of last year. And that is a priority and of importance to me. Everyone else can return 5 days a week if they prefer. In fact, 131 of our 171 will be in person 4 to 5 days a week by the deadline, March 29th of this. And that we still have boards that are meeting to return to that capacity. And within those that have not returned to 4 or 5 days, there's still some that have elementary returning to 4 or 5 days that are not within that count. So I think this is a great compromise. It still allows boards to make these decisions, and they're making those decisions to return to 4 to 5 days, all students, all across the Commonwealth. And if there's no questions, Mr. Speaker, I move for passage of Senate Bill Substitute 1.
Motion is that the House does concur with Senate Committee Substitute 1. Is there any discussion? Chair recognizes the lady from Jefferson 32 for discussion of the Senate Committee Substitute.
Yes, may I speak on the Senate Committee Substitute
Yes,
and the bill as a whole?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So to start with, I fully support House Bill 208. I definitely think it is time to nudge some of our districts who haven't decided to open up our schools to open the schools. We've been dealing with a pandemic for a year. We're going to have to learn how to live with it, and sometimes we're going to have to make that step and open the schools. So do not take this as an attack on House Bill 208. I fully support it. But there have been a lot of things said about Jefferson County Public Schools in the last 24 hours, many of them false, accusatory, and insulting. I rise today to clear up some of the inaccurate comments about JCPS's reopening efforts. Jefferson County Public Schools spent the last year receiving guidance, reviewing protocols, and working closely with local and state health officials in the development of their plan for in-person learning. A thorough process has been in place to ensure all guidelines are in place to provide a safe environment for students and staff. Accusations and insinuations have been made that Jefferson County Public Schools has no plan for reopening and that the district had no intentions of opening this year at all. Both are false. Last fall, Jefferson County Public Schools released a reopening plan after talking with medical professionals, community members, families, and staff. This comprehensive look at reopening has been updated as new guidance has been released. The plan details processes for everything from contact tracing to addressing sick children in schools to social distancing. To state that this district serving 1 in 7 kids in Kentucky has no plan, when a plan has been in place and updated regularly since last October, is an affront to the hard work of the district's staff and stakeholders making very difficult decisions. In fact, in addition to the comprehensive district plan, every single school district, 155 schools, have an individual reopening plan that was approved by the Louisville Metro Department of Public Health and Wellness and is available on the district's website for families to review. This information has been posted online since the fall as well. The plan details guidance on the bus, arrival and dismissal procedures, protocols for students in common areas, classroom social distancing, the Healthy at Schools officer, and the team's role in keeping track of COVID cases and exposures at a school, a designated health room, medical professionals available to assist each school, breakfast and lunch plans, sanitization, and ventilation in school buildings. Again, I want to focus on the facts. So here are some facts about Jefferson County Public Schools being prepared for reopening in addition to their plan. The district stands ready to reopen according to their publicly released plan with nearly 5 million masks for staff and students, 48,000 face shields, 55,000 containers of disinfectant wipes, 12,000 boxes of gloves, more than 1,600 thermometers, and 28,000 protective gowns. Further, last August, each school was provided a PPE starter kit with some of the items I listed, and more have been provided to schools like safety signage, wall-mounted hand sanitizer dispensers, battery-powered disinfecting sprayers, plexiglass barriers, and a water bottle filling unit will be available at schools. JCPS has been transparent, upfront, and engaged the community throughout the year to gain feedback, share details, and collaborate on their reopening plan. They recently hosted a virtual town hall when district leadership explained the plan to families. That town hall and presentation has been viewed more than 18,000 times. The work that JCPS has done over the last year has been ongoing and has kept up with all the current guidance. I applaud Superintendent Marty Polio for his leadership during a difficult time, and I applaud the hardworking team he assembled to implement this safety-first approach to learning. With that, I urge my colleagues in both chambers to refrain from making attacks against this district without first finding out the facts. My door is open for anyone who wants to discuss further. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for allowing me the opportunity to clear the record. And members, I encourage you to vote yes for House Bill 208, Senate concurrence, whatever it is that we're voting on today. Thank you.
No. Gentleman from Jefferson 36, do you wish to comment on the Senate committee substitute of the bill?
A little bit of both, but.
You're recognized for a little of both.
Thank you, sir.
Oh my God.
I was hoping for a little something stronger out of the Senate, but I will vote for this bill. I'll vote for the committee sub as well. And I just say that my elementary age granddaughter is extremely upset that she's not going to get to go back to school 5 days a week, which Superintendent Marty Polio and his team put together a very solid plan. They strongly recommended that to the board, and about 3 or 4 people on that board cut his legs out from under him.
Really?
And as a result, they're doing NTI.
Really?
At this point, I'm just happy to have her back in session. I wish the Senate had done something a little stronger, but I will vote for this. Thank you.
What the hell is
Motion
he
is
talking
for
about?
that the House does concur with Senate Committee Substitute 1. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, those in favor signify by voting aye. Those opposed, nay. House does concur with Senate Committee Substitute 1. Lady from Whitley.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move for final passage of House Bill 208.
Question before the body is final passage of House Bill 208 as amended in the Senate and concurred in by the House. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk will sound the chimes. Those in favor vote aye, those opposed nay, and the roll call is open for your vote.
Wilner's a no, Scott's a no, Rayburn's a no, Maddox is a no, Marzian's a no, Kulkarni's a no, Baker's a no, Beckler's a no, Brown's a no, Donahue's a no, Flood's a
Recognizes the lady
no,
from Jefferson 44
Palumbo's
for
a
explanation
no.
of vote not to exceed 2
got
minutes.
12 no's.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm reading from a statement from the lady from Jefferson 35.
81
Yes, ma'am.
yeas.
Thank you. I support House Bill 208, but not as amended on the House floor or by the Senate. I'm voting no to the amended bill. I'm concerned about this body superseding local school board authority and those
Yep.
local elected officials who are elected by and are in closest contact with the community.
Yep.
Thank you.
Especially after what Jerry Miller just said.
Have all members voted?
All part of their plan. I don't know why people can't see it.
Does
Stevenson's
any
a
member
no.
wish to change or explain their
Got
vote?
15 no's now. Who else is added? Roberts. C. Miller. 15 no's,
Clerk
81
will take the
yeas.
roll. There being 81 members voting aye, 15 members voting nay, House Bill 208, as amended in the Senate and concurred in by the House, is finally passed. Lady from Whitley.
Move the clencher.
Without objection, clencher is applied. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that House concurrent